Okay, question number 8 is this rugby ball question. It says that a rugby ball is kicked from here and reaches a height of 12 meters and hits the ground at 40 meters from where the ball was kicked. So this value, sorry, it keeps jumping around. We've got 40 here, and this point here is the maximum point of 12. And it wants us to write down a quadratic for that situation. The peak will happen halfway along the distance that it's travelled. So that point is going to be 20, 12. That means that we can write it in completed square form. The other thing we could have done is write it in bracket form because of the 2 points it crosses the x-axis. So that's maybe what most people will actually have done. We'll have written x bracket it's negative, so negative, x bracket 40 take x you've probably gone for. We need to make sure that so we're going to probably have some sort of scaling value. So I'm going to times it by, say, k. And I'm going to work out what that k value is, given the fact that when x is 20, h is 12. That's going to allow us to work out this k. So we can write 12 equals 20 times 20 times k. So k is going to equal 12 over 400, which is the same as divide by 4 3/100ths. So the final full equation for h is 3x over 100 40 minus x, or you might have 0.3x there. Okay, part B then says that the ball passes over a horizontal bar that is 3 meters above the ground. So if we look at the graph, that means that the ball is either going to pass here or here. And it says in the question it wants the greatest horizontal distance. So we're after this value here. That's when the height, if you again look at the picture, that's when the height is 3. So we're just going to set h equal to 3 and we're going to solve the equation. So I'm going to times by 100 over 3, that's going to give me 100 equals 40x minus x squared. If I move everything over to the left, that's going to be x squared minus 40x plus 100, and then solve that quadratic. So x minus 20 squared minus 400 plus 100, x minus 20 squared is equal to 300. So x is equal to 20 plus or minus root 300. We want the greater value, so we want the positive one. So x plus, 20 plus root 300, which is 37.3. Just asks for a limitation of the model. There's loads of different limitations you could give. Probably the easiest one to remember, which is linked to your mechanics as well, is that the air resistance hasn't been accounted for. Anytime you've got a ball flying through the air, or anything flying through the air, then we're not going to have air resistance in our questions. So that is always a good limitation to write about. You could also talk about the fact that the ball has been modelled as a particle when it's not actually a particle, so that would also work